Namaste yogis, welcome to your practice. This is Stephen from YogaWorks, and welcome to my home studio here by the Indian Ocean in Mozambique. I've been out for a little while because I've had a bit of an infection on my knee. I'll still need to take it a little bit easy today, but suddenly what I realized is that I don't have full mobility. I even had to stay in bed a couple of days. But you know what sucks a lot worse than having a sore knee is when you live in a war zone and the bombs are falling all around you and people have to flee their country, or even worse, get killed by this violence. And this is the situation we are faced with in the news, and not just now, but there's been areas even here in the north of Mozambique that have had similar situations for a very long time. And then sometimes it makes you feel like there's not a lot you can do. You feel a little bit powerless under all of these things that are happening. But actually, it's not like this. The yogis say the main thing that we can all do is become a peaceful presence ourselves. So that's why I decided to record this class. It's called the Peaceful Warrior Flow, and it has two elements really. We're showing up in a peaceful way. Whatever we do has an element of promoting less violence and more kindness to it. And then there's a warrior element, which means it doesn't mean you go to war. It just means that you stand up for something that is a worthwhile cause to you. And we are prepared at all times to jump in if we need to take action wherever it is required. So sit comfortably. I'm sitting on a block. You can sit however you like, and rest down here for a moment. Close your eyes, and then for today's class, just turn the palms down so you feel a little bit more grounded. And then just notice where your sit bones are touching the block or the mat. And try to sit like right in the middle, not to the front of the sit bones, not to the back, so that your pelvis is in a good position for the spine to rise up strong, steady, open from the ground. And then often it feels good to lean the head back just ever so slightly. It's a very minor adjustment. Just have some length at the back of the neck and you'll feel the whole spine react. And for a few moments, direct your attention to the heart space, the middle of the chest, and imagine you can breathe directly into that space. Imagine there's an opening in the front of the chest. You can breathe straight into the heart area. And as you exhale, feel your whole body, your whole system settle down a little bit more. Do that for a few more rounds, breathing into the chest. You can also feel the sides and the back of the chest expand, the upper back, the rib cage as a whole. And then generally, whichever actions are coming from an attention to the heart more than the thinking mind are going to have a more fruitful effect. So today we're letting our practice come a bit more from the heart than from the thinking brain, than from the mind. Then place both hands on the heart just for a moment. Direct all your attention there in the inner heart space. And in that space, bring to mind a cause that is really worthwhile. Maybe a person that means a lot to you. Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's a project you're currently involved in. Maybe it's a region or a city or a country. Maybe it's a piece of nature you're trying to protect. Something that is close to your heart, that you're willing to stand up for, that you're willing to fight for if necessary. Maybe not physically fight, but at least to effort for its benefits. So bring to mind your cause. And if you're feeling quite low and quite depleted and quite overwhelmed with life at the moment, maybe that good cause is you, is your health, your mental health, your physical health at the moment. So don't forget to take care of yourself and bring yourself to mind if that is what is most necessary at the moment. So bring to mind this worthy cause. You're willing to stand up and dedicate your practice to it. Every breath, every movement, let it be for the benefit of this cause. Nice, and then you can release the hands down, you can blink the eyes open if they were closed. There's one more little element we practice before we start moving, which is our focus. To be a peaceful warrior, we're going to have to know where our focus lies, what are we dedicating our efforts towards. And for that, the yogis have a good tool which is called the drishti, which is your gaze, your eyesight, and linked to it is our attention and our brain in the end. So to practice this, take your one index finger, point it straight up at the sky, and then straighten your arm so the index finger is as far away from you as you can get it. And then focus your eyesight on the tip of your index finger, and just feel this laser sharp focus on this one object, on this one point in space. And then you'll notice you'll still see all the things around it, the environment around, but it's a little bit out of focus. All your attention is focused on the fingertip. And now shift your gaze, or your eyesight, your focus, to include the whole panorama, the landscape of all the things you see around you. And you'll still see the finger in the foreground, but it's not in sharp focus anymore. So you've got like a wider view. This is the kind of view that we want to practice and develop in our focus today. And then start to focus again on the finger and start to bring it closer, closer, closer. Not too close so it becomes uncomfortable, but kind of as close as you can get it. Focus your eyesight, both eyes, on the tip of the index finger. And then again, move it further away from you. Keep it in your eyesight. This is your goal that you've set out for yourself, a worthy cause that you carry deep in your heart. And then again, open your awareness to include the whole landscape of all the things you see around you. The finger is part of it, but it's not in sharp focus. You've got a panoramic helicopter view. Nice. And then you can release the hands. Good. If you're sitting on a block, place it off to the side and then come into a seated forward fold. Press the backs of the legs down. Activate the legs so you're pulling up with the muscles. Dig the heels down, lift the toes, and then lift the chest so your spine is nice and long. Either you're staying here, this is fine, or walk the hands a little bit forward until you feel a good but still a doable stretch at the back of the legs. You might feel lower back and all the way in the back body as well, that's fine. But don't overdo it, keep it a little bit mild. We haven't really warmed up a lot, this is our very first pose. And then with your eyesight, don't drift off all the way and try to look at your screen and your phone that might be next to your computer and all the things that happen around you. Try to just focus your eyes in a point somewhere just in front of your feet. That's a good focus point. So we call this our drishti. Now with the eyes, rest on that point, but you're not focusing on one little element. Like I'm not looking at the nail in the deck here. I'm just sort of taking in whatever is in front of me at the moment. Good. And then lift back up and come onto your tippy toes with the knees bent. You can hold the backs of the legs for now. And lift the spine up, roll the shoulders a bit back. And then lean back just enough so your feet come off the mat. And then lift your shins so they become parallel to the ground. And then if you can reach your hands forward. I like to point the toes, but just do something active with your feet. And there's the gaze again, straight in front of you. Panoramic view like we practiced before with the finger. And just take in the scene in front of you without diving into all the little details. So that's a really good focus building. Of course, we're in quite a demanding pose. We're in boat, or at least I hope you are, at the moment. And it just gives our mind something to do. There's enough going on to keep us busy. Good. And then release the legs down. Open the legs wide this time. I like to sometimes press with the hands to shift the hips slightly forward. Activate the feet so the toes point up. And then again, lengthen the spine. Maybe you're here with the hands behind you, that's fine. Maybe you've got a bit more space to walk the hands a bit forward. Just get in there and don't overdo it. Go to a point that gets your attention, but it's not so far that now you're starting to struggle and you're looking forward to get out of the pose. That wouldn't be the way of the peaceful warrior that we're practicing. So find that good balance, a strong, steady pose, but you're able to breathe comfortably in it. Good. And then lift back up. We're going to boat pose again, but this time we'll do half boat. Let me turn sideways. So connect your lower back to the mat and then lift the heels a little bit off the mat. Point your toes away from you. And then with the fingers stretch in the same direction as your feet. Keep the shoulders, both shoulder blades a little bit lifted off the mat. And then again with the gaze, you can use the same technique as what we did before with the finger. But now use your big toes in front of you. Nice, so bring them into focus. And then widen your focus to include the whole landscape in front of you. And then you might be starting to shake a little bit. I definitely am starting to feel this little bit of core abdominal work. And then instead of going down, we're going up. The warrior doesn't choose the easiest path. He or she chooses whichever path is necessary for the cause that you have selected for yourself. Good. And then come out, so you can swing around to come into Sphinx pose. Place your elbows under the shoulders. With your hands, you can do whatever you want. I like to place the hands together, or you can interlace the fingers, that's fine. And then press the elbows down. Pull the elbows a little bit towards you on the mat. Activate the legs, so the front of the legs and the feet are gently pressing down. And then let's practice that gaze, that drishti again. It's good to look forward, you don't need to throw the head back. So choose a point in front of you that you focus on and take in all the elements of what the eyes are receiving. So let the eyes rest on the scene in front of you. Take a few breaths here and just feel the steadiness, the calm preparation of your peaceful warrior, which is you, of course. Good, and then tuck your toes. Lift the hips off the mat. If it's too much, you can keep the knees down for a little discount, but if you can, try to come into a bit of a challenging core pose, whatever that looks like for you. And then just check back, your heels are over the base of the toes, and then I'm pressing down with the elbows. Most likely you might have to, instead of lifting the tailbone, you might need to lengthen it a little bit back. And then with the gaze, look just in front of your knuckles, of your fingers somewhere, and steady your gaze again. It's harder in these demanding poses. Your mind might be screaming, oh no, get out, this is taking way too long, I'm already starting to shake, my core is not so strong, or whatever your mind stories comes up with. But the warrior, of course, doesn't go along with his little story. He or she has got a job to do. And then lower back, down. Let's set up for cobra pose. Place the hands next to the middle of the chest and roll the shoulders back and then lift up. I would recommend just go a little bit for the beginning, so you feel your back muscles contract. You probably feel the backs of the legs, the glutes activate as well. And then if you want to, you can lift a little bit higher. Keep the elbows close to your side, and then don't let the shoulders lift up too high. Keep them down and back. Look forward, get your drishti, get the breath right. One more slow inhale. And on the exhale, slowly lower down. Good, tuck your toes, press up to a normal plank this time. We've done the forearm plank. Now it's time for this little challenge. And again with the gaze, look slightly forward of your hands in the middle, so straight under your face. Do the best you can to align your body, to strengthen the front body all the way from the front of the ankles to the throat. And then with the hands, get a sense of pushing down, so you're pressing the mat away. Keep the gaze steady and calm. There's no look panically looking around with the eyes. That wouldn't lead to a very peaceful inner state. And then slowly lower back down. Good locust pose. Point the toes. Reach the hands back. For this one, we're going to keep the palms of the hands touching down. Lift the head and shoulders a bit. Lift the legs a little bit. Keep the legs straight. And then just lengthen from the head to the toes. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Don't worry how far you go. This is of no importance because you've chosen your heart's project. The thing that is close to your heart that you're willing to fight for. And I'm sure a deeper back bend, it's nice. But it's not part of that thing that you definitely want to do in life. I'm guessing. Maybe it is, in which case you might need to lift a bit higher. Otherwise, you're fine. 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower down. Take a little break. Turn your head to one side. Good. That's enough rest. Press up to plank. We're going to side plank. Place your left hand 1 hand's distance further forward. So your left hand is in front of the left shoulder. And then turn onto the outside edge of your left foot. You can stack the right foot on top of the left, or you can place it in the front. In front is going to be a little bit more stable because you can use both legs a little bit more. On top, it's going to be slightly harder. Reach the right arm up and then keep the body quite straight, so we're aiming for mountain pose. There's not a big side bend. If your balance is fine, you can try to look up at the top hand. There's your drishti again. Whichever pose or version you're in, hold for 3, steady your gaze. 2 and 1. Slowly come to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Hold, upward facing dog. I'm on the tops of the feet and I'm on the hands, of course. And then lift the chest up. Draw the shoulders and the triceps a little bit back. So your heart is nice and open to the front. And then there is your gaze. Your focus point is whatever lies in front of you. The warrior doesn't do needless action. She doesn't waste time with trivial little projects. She does what is necessary in front of her. When I say her, it could also mean him, of course. I'm just sounds nice once in a while to turn it around, because usually the warriors are he, and it doesn't need to be at all. We all have the warrior qualities inside us. Good. Downward facing dog, just as a counter pose. Turn around because we'll do side plank on the second side. So shift into plank. Place your right hand a little bit further forward. Turn onto the outside edge of your right foot and stack left foot on top, or place the left foot in the front of the right. Try out both and then pick your favorite. When you're ready, lift the left arm up. Press the mat down with your right hand. Lengthen the spine, even though it's a bit of a demanding pose. And then maybe you can look up. Steady your gaze, whichever version of the pose you're in. 3, 2, stay with the breath. Stay with your focus. 1. And then slowly lower down. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. This time we're not holding it. Hold, downward facing dog. Lengthen the heels down. I know I just said we're not holding it, but I meant we're not holding the back bend. We've done a whole series already. The Sphinx, the Cobra, the upward facing dog, and the locust. So here's down dog. Your drishti is now between the ankles or between the calves, your lower legs. So pick a spot. And again, don't focus on one particular thing. Just open your gaze. It's like a wide angle focus. If you were doing photography, it would be a landscape picture and not a macro detail or a portrait. Lengthen the thigh bones back, lift the hip points a little bit more, press the hands down and telescope your arms a little bit longer. Good. Slowly walk your feet forward to the front of the mat. Nice. Bend the knees a little bit. Roll up to standing. Nice. Come into mountain pose. Place the feet firmly on the mat. Bring the hands together in front of the chest area. Apply a little bit of pressure with your thumbs on the breastbone. And again, bring to mind that worthy cause that you have selected, that you hold in your heart space, and that you are willing to dedicate your efforts towards. You're willing to stand up for it. Nice. We're going to be doing some sun salutations with a focus on kindness and compassion. So we'll bring different focuses into this practice. Every round we'll be dedicating to something else. Nice. The first round is for a loved one, somebody who's really close to you. Just the mere thought of this person or pet makes your heart sing with joy. Bring to mind this face or this picture or this image of that loved one. This is for them. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, lengthen. Exhale, step to down dog. Inhale, shift forward to plank. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. When I say chaturanga, you can also go all the way down to the mat. And when I say up dog, you could also do cobra, locust, sphinx, any other back bend. Downward facing dog, step back. Inhale, take a breath. And exhale, walk to the front of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, let's rise, lift the arms all the way up. And then exhale, bring hands back to heart. Nice. Now, second focus, bring to mind somebody who's currently having a bit of a difficult time. Somebody who's currently suffering or struggling. Maybe health issues, maybe war, maybe mental health, whatever it is, bring them to mind. Maybe financial problems. And it might be you, but we'll do us ourselves later. So pick somebody else for this round. Inhale, lift the arms. Dedicate to this person. Exhale, forward fold. Any benefit that comes from them, send it to them. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step to down dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga or all the way down. Upward facing dog or your choice of back bend. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, in down dog. Exhale, step to the front. Inhale all the way up, lengthen. And exhale, hands to the heart. Yes. Now bring to mind somebody you've been currently having some difficulty with. You've had a bit of a strained relationship. I don't want to say enemy, that's maybe a bit too strong. But you could smoothen out a few things between you. Bring to mind this person. They don't know you're practicing for them, but you are. Any benefit from this round, send it to them. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Flat back, inhale. Exhale, down dog. Inhale to plank. Keep your drishti, your gaze steady. Exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, looking forward. Downward facing dog, look between the feet or the legs. Inhale in down dog. Exhale, walk or hop to the front. Inhale to rise. Exhale, hands to the heart. Now bring to mind everybody who is currently in a war zone. It might be the ones that are prominent in the news now, the sort of a new, close to home ones sometimes, or it could be anybody really. There's enough war zones in the world, in fact too many. So just choose one or dedicate to all the people who have guns and bombs and whatever flying around on a daily basis, which must be really terrible to imagine. Inhale, rise. Dedicate this peaceful flow to them. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step to down dog. Inhale, plank pose. Steady, calm, strong. Exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Inhale. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Inhale and down dog. Exhale, step to the front, forward fold. Inhale, let's rise. Exhale, hands to heart. Now bring to mind nature. It could be all of nature or one specific part. It could be this ocean right here in front of the studio. It could be a lake, a forest, a beach, something nearby that you know well and that you wish to protect. So often we have turned nature into a bit of a war zone as well. It is often not doing so well. So it could use some of our attention and good wishes. Inhale, here we go. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step to down dog first. Inhale takes you to plank. Steady your gaze. Exhale, chaturanga. Even when you're in a tough pose like this. Inhale, upward facing dog. Look forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Steady. Inhale and down dog. Exhale, step to forward fold. Front of the mat. Inhale, rise. Got one more round left. Exhale, hands to heart. Now bring to mind, dedicate this round to yourself, to you. We're often the last one to receive our own well wishes and positive attention. But actually we should be the first, because without us feeling good, we won't have a lot left to give and get out there in the world. Here we go. Inhale. This is for you. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen the chest forward. Exhale, step into down dog. Inhale to plank pose. Slowly lower, chaturanga. Exhale. Upward facing dog. Inhale. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Take a breath. Step to the front. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to rise. Exhale, hands to heart. Close your eyes. Stand tall for a moment. Mountain pose. You are practicing to be peaceful inside, to stop the war, at least in our own bodies, our own minds. And this will ripple out in ever widening circles. Good. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Flat back. Inhale, chest goes forward. Exhale, just step to down dog. Nice. We'll build up a little bit of a flow with lots of warrior poses and standing poses to build up some strength, some stamina, to feel a sense of balance and power that we have in our bodies, in our minds. Step the right foot forward. With the left foot, step a little bit closer and turn the heel down. I like to leave a bit of space between the feet. Nice. And then start to pull the right hip back. This has the effect of straightening the right knee more. But if your right knee doesn't straighten all the way, don't lose any sleep over it. Or you can straighten more and use some blocks to elevate your hands onto a higher surface. That's also a good idea. And then deepen the front of the right hip and fold into that space. Lengthen the spine, think forward, and then down will come as your body opens up so that you don't have to worry about it. Good, let's step back to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. You can always skip this if the vinyasas get a little bit too much, then just go to down dog. And there's always child's pose as well if you need a little break. Good, downward facing dog. Step left foot forward, step right foot a bit closer and turn the heel down. Leave a bit of space between the feet. And then start to pull the left hip back. Maybe left leg straightens, maybe not, it's okay. Ground the hands down on something. Sometimes I like to walk the hands a bit further forward and then pull the left hip back. Lengthen that right hip, it likes to move back, but move it a little bit forward. You're going to feel a better engagement in the back of the left leg. Deepen the front of the left hip crease. Lengthen the spine. Steady the gaze. Good. Down dog or plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Slow exhale. Let's start off the same. Right foot forward, left foot step it in. Pyramid pose, it's Parsvottanasana. Pull the right hip back, lengthen the spine forward. You can walk the hands forward or keep them closer. Good, and then walk the hands closer again. Step the left foot far back and come into this strong lunge position. First work on the back leg, straighten the knee by engaging your left quads. So there's a sense of lifting your left leg up. Then keep that. Try to bend the right knee a little bit more. There's not going to be a lot of movement. You're probably close to end range already. Or at least I am. But just get in there. Feel the strength, the steadiness of this simple lunge. We'll build on this in a moment. Good, and then step back, downward facing dog or plank. Slow chaturanga, don't rush this. Upward facing dog, you want full breaths even when you're moving. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left foot forward, right foot a bit closer for the pyramid Parsvottanasana. Pull left hip back. Maybe walk the hands forward. Do your thing. Adapt the pose so that it works for your body. Good. Rebend the front knee. Step the right foot back a good amount. You want it nice and far so your heel is not way back, but it's above the base of the toes there. Nice. Get that steady connection. Lift the right thigh up using your quads. And then bend the left knee a little bit more. Steady the gaze so you're not looking around for something to feast the eyes on. The eyes like to do that. Just let the eyes rest. Sense of calm, steadiness. And then back to the plank or the down dog. You choose. You keep moving by doing vinyasas. Or you can take breaks when we're between these sequences. Nice. Downward facing dog. If you're not there already, join us. Right foot forward. Let's build on this a bit. Left foot closer, the same start. Parsvottanasana. Pull the right hip back. Spine goes forward. Then step the left foot way backward on the toes, like high lunge but with the fingertips down. Lengthen the spine to the front. And look at the back foot, step it a bit wider, so more to the left. Turn the left heel down at a 45-degree angle. Good. And then with the hands, hold the hips and squeeze in the hips to the midline a little bit. Nice, you're still keeping that right knee bent a good amount and your spine goes forward. Nice, now keep the legs absolutely the same. Start to lift the torso up to vertical. Juice up the back leg, you might have lost that a little bit while coming up. Bend the right knee as much as you can and stretch the fingertips down, 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 down. Turn the palms of the hands open and then lift the arms. Keep all the rest the same, warrior one pose. Steady the gaze in front of you. Landscape option for the eyes, remember. And then lower the hands down, well done. You can rest in down dog. Now you're starting to see why yoga teachers say rest in down dog. It's usually after a strong standing sequence. Or you can move. I'm going to skip this one. Good, left foot forward. Right foot a little closer, setting up for the pyramid. Parshvottanasana. Fold as far as you go, don't worry how far that actually is. You're in this, not to stretch your hamstrings, you've got a deeper purpose ahead of you, which you have selected. Step the right foot back. Bend the left knee a good amount. Juice out the back leg. There's a sense of strength. Then look at the back foot. Step it a bit wider. Then turn the heel down. I like to have a bit of space between the heels here. And coming into it this way does that quite nicely. Nice. And then nothing has changed, but lift your hands off the mat. Squeeze the outer hips into the middle. Lengthen the spine. Super strong back leg. Try to keep this as you slowly lift the torso up. The legs have not changed at all. Nice. And keep that pulling together a kind of action in the legs as you stretch the fingertips down, facing forward with the shoulders. Turn the palms open and then lift the arms to parallel. Reach up to the fingertips and ground down through the legs. 3, 2, we're in warrior one. 1, lower the hands. Inhale, plank. Or you know the other options, there's child's pose, there's straight to down dog. I want to do upward facing dog. You've still got the cobra, sphinx, locust, lots of other options. Downward facing dog. Slow breath in, slow breath out. Good, step right foot forward. Turn the left heel down. Pyramid pose, start off the same. Pull the right hip back. Step the left foot back. Simple lunge on the fingertips, straight in the back leg. Step your left foot out a bit and then turn the left heel down. Warrior one legs. Hold the hips, squeeze them in. Keep the legs the same. Slowly come up. Upright the torso. Reach down through the fingertips. Keep all of this, turn the palms and then lift up through the fingers. Arms parallel, legs steady. Nice, now swing the arms back. Interlace your fingers behind your lower back. Inhale to lift the heart. Maybe look up. Exhale to fold. Humble warrior, you can go towards your right knee, or if you have a bit more space, go a little bit inside the right knee with your head, with your neck, your shoulder maybe. And then if it feels good, you can lift the hands away from the back. Super steady through the lower body. Relax through the upper body, which is easier said than done. And how are the eyes? Are they looking around to escape this demanding pose? or can they just rest regardless of the intensity? Good, and then release your hands down. It's not far to the ground. Step back, move with control, or rest for a moment. Whatever you do, don't rush. Don't go into autopilot. It's not going to help your warrior cause. Left foot forward, right foot in, Parsvottanasana. Left hip back, heart forward, gaze steady. Right foot, toes, step them back, steady lunge with the back knee lifted. Step the right foot a bit wide, turn the right heel down, hold the outer hips, squeeze in, lift up. Reach down through the fingertips, maybe bend the front knee a little bit more if you can, and then lift up into warrior one. One breath here at the top, and then swing the arms back, interlace your hands the other way, the uncomfortable way perhaps. Inhale, lift the heart, and exhale, humble. Inside the left knee or towards the left knee, doesn't matter where you end up. If you can, lift the arms and then lift the shoulders a little bit against gravity. Let the back of the neck relax. In fact, the whole neck. I don't know why I said only the back of the neck. One more breath and then let the hands come down. Either you go plank, chaturanga and the rest, or you go down dog or child's pose. All of these are of equal value. It just depends on what you need the most right now. What is going to sustain your journey the most. So what do you think? Should we add another pose? Of course you can't answer. So I'm going to answer for you. Yes, of course. Stephen would love to. Let's do another pose because we're feeling strong and ready. Right foot forward, left foot in, start of the same pyramid. Good, and step left foot back, steady, strong, simple lunge. Left foot a bit wider, heel down, prepare for warrior one. You can lift up holding the hips if you want to. Reach fingertips down and then lift the arms. Let's reach hands back, clasp the fingers together. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, fold, humble warrior. Nice. Now moving on, look forward. Stay quite low. Lift the left heel up. Reach your hands back behind you. Step a little bit closer with the back foot until you feel you've got enough support on that right leg to lift up into warrior three. Lift the back leg, juice it up. Lengthen the heart forward, reach back to the knuckles. 3, 2, 1. Big step back, you release the arms, warrior 2. Steady your feet and then just feel the strength. And before we started, if I told you this is the sequence we're going to do, you might be like, wow, there's no way I can do that sequence so many times with all these strong standing poses in a row. But here you are in the arena. You're doing it regardless. Let's do reverse warrior. Left hand down the back leg, right arm up. Lean back, but keep the front knee bending. One more breath, lean back. And then exhale, cartwheel the hands down. This is our second last Vinyasa. Or, of course, you can skip them to have a little break in between. Exhale to down dog. Take a breath. Good. Left forward. Right heel down. Parsvottanasana. You're starting to know this. We've been here many times. Hopefully you start to feel your body lets you in a little bit more, and there's a bit more of a state of readiness as you've been moving through this a couple more times. Step the right foot back, Simple lunge on the fingertips. Right foot a bit wider, right heel down, coming up, ready for warrior one. Stretch fingertips down, bend the front knee. Lift the arms up, face forward, steady your gaze. Especially when it gets harder, still steady the gaze. Interlace your hands, the other way around. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, humble. It's a good quality to be humble. Nice. Now look forward, stay low. Lift the back heel, step in as much as you need to get that balance over the left leg. And then push up, lift the right leg, reach your knuckles back. Lift the heart forward, maybe straighten the bottom leg. One more inhale. And then exhale, land, warrior two, open the arms, and again, find your footing on both legs. Reach away through the fingertips. Your gaze is over the front fingers, not focusing on the fingers, but on the wider space beyond it. And then let's reverse, right hand down, left arm up, lean back. Exhale, hands down to the mat. Last one, plank to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Slow breath in. Slow breath out. Good. Grab a block, or take a seat, however you want. Settle in for a moment. We started in exactly the same position. Palms down, sit bones grounded, spine long, face relaxed. We've done 45 minutes of peaceful warrior training. Challenging flow, but where the focus is not on getting more flexible, getting more balance. All of this is part of the process, but we dedicated this to a worthy cause, something that's close to our hearts. So bring to mind that worthy cause one more time. Dedicate any benefits of this practice to your heart's cause. Send out this prayer that everybody might feel this calm, this connected, this peaceful as you might be experiencing right now. That everybody might have this clarity of mind that we have cultivated. And everybody might be able to sit in peace and quiet like we are doing now. Feel it rippling out in wider circles around you, touching everybody you come into contact with. Then bring your hands to the heart. If you have more time, of course, you can stay here a little bit longer. It's a good time to go into seated meditation or shavasana after this. If it's time to go, thank you for practicing. Touch your hands to your forehead, to your heart, and bow to yourself on the mat. Nice, it was nice to move together. Well done, take good care, and see you here again soon. Namaste.